Welcome to today's issues. My name is Christy Carson, and today we have our guests, familiar to a lot of us. We're going to introduce this group to some of you. Father Support Center. We have President and CEO Halbert Sullivan joining us in the studio this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Christy, and thanks for having us back again.
Well, you know, this subject matter touched a lot of people that listened to the program, and we really only scratched the surface when we last had you in here with Dr. Johnson. And we also had the attorney that helps you with the legal services. So we really needed to have you back. Today we're going to give people another perspective into why you do what you do. Joining me also in the studio is one of the many fathers that you've helped over the years. His name is Stephen Thomas. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy to be here.
You have a wonderful smile. Welcome to today's issues. And also later on in the program, we're going to talk to one of the board members for another perspective on Father Support Center. Halbert, tell us about the program again, brief summary.
Our program impacts outcomes for children. That's the main gist and the main reason why the agency exists. We saw a gap in what impacts children. We saw a major problem with the children developing properly, and those were children who were being reared in a home without a dad. So we sought to fill that gap by having a responsible father be involved in their developmental stages of their life. It's a huge, huge piece. It decreases high school dropouts. 75% of all children who drop out of school come from fatherless homes. About 70% of all youth sitting in juvenile come from fatherless homes. About 72% of all youth sitting in prisons come from fatherless homes. And here's the big one that keeps the gap going, keeps it going in a cycle. 82% of all teenage girls who get pregnant come from fatherless homes. So if we could bridge that gap, we can decrease some of these negatives that have such a huge negative impact on our children.
And the program is typically how many weeks for these participants that come to Father Support Center?
Our project is a 6-week project. However, the men sign up for a year. But the first 6 weeks is very vigorous. It's a very holistic approach where they're engaged 5 days a week for 6 weeks from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, where they're met with many professionals. They're met with social workers, job developers, parenting specialists, family therapists, and legal assistance.
Okay, so let's talk to Mr. Stephen Thomas. So how did you become aware of Father Support Center?
Well, I became aware of Father Support Center through an ad. I actually work with Better Family Life over on 5415 page. And by me working with them, they introduced me to the Father Support Program. When I heard about it, it was telling me that I can become a more responsible parent to my 2 children, who I love until death. And what I really was into the program for was because of the simple fact I want to be the best dad to my kids. And when I heard about signing up for this program, it would make me more responsible and make me more of a role model than most of the people that's in our community. I had to join.
Yeah. How old of a guy are you?
I'm 23 years of age.
23 years. And how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
And are you and the mother together?
No, ma'am. We're not currently together, but we get along.
Okay. So when you found out about Father Support Center and you said, count me in, sign me up, I'm on board, the main reason you joined is?
To be more responsible.
To be more responsible. Take me through the program. What happened when you walk through the door and they take you through these programs or these 6 steps?
Okay, I walked in the door and I was looking around and I was like, okay, this is going to be a walk in the park. And I looked up and the people say, no, this ain't going to be a walk in the park, brother. We going to put you to work. And when they told me that, I'm like, okay, I already got a job, so I know a little bit about hard work, but I didn't know what I was in store for.
Oh, my.
I walked in the door, and this is truly a program not for a person who feels that he's going to be slacking, or a person who is not really fully committed to it, but this is for a program. This program is designed for a person who really wants to provide a better life for himself and for his children.
Wow. So out of the programs, you went through career development, so you learned what type of things in the career development aspect?
Well, in the career development aspect, we learned about interview skills. A lot of people think that they're ready for interviews when they go on these jobs, but truly, you will find out that most people wouldn't even take the time to research about the job that they're going into. In these interview skills, I learned about a lot of things about myself. about how you need to be more professional when you talk, how you need to be more professional when you dress, and just overall, you need to be professional every day of your life.
Okay. And one of the biggest aspects that helped you, you say, is with the parenting skills, relationship building. How did that work?
Oh man, that was an up and down roller coaster for me.
Okay, before you get started, how was your relationship before?
It wasn't so great.
Okay, how so?
Because a lot of times I thought I was treating the woman right that was raising my kids, and certain things that you say to a person, you may not know how it affects them, but going through the parenting skill classes, you learn that your words are very costly and they are very effective. So we were taught to be more polite to the woman who's raising your children and treat her like a queen. And that helped build the relationship that is unbreakable to this day right now.
And has the impact been seen in the lives, on the faces, in the hearts of your children? Do you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
How so?
Every day, now I can go to the kids and be like, okay, we're having a little disagreement, and daddy don't have to go give them a spanking or put them in timeout. It's more of a verbal thing, because they teach us not to emphasize on spanking, because in the African American community right now, a lot of people believe that spur the rod, spoil the child.
Right.
And truly, that's not just what the rod means. The rod can be just the word. Your word is your bond. And your word is strong. So now I go to my children and I just say, hey, you know what? You're making a mistake. And I explain to them what the mistake is, because they're only children. Children need to be redirected and to be reevaluated every day by the parent. If you're not constantly inside of your child's life, telling them what's going on and telling them how to manage and telling them how to deal with things, they'll never know.
So how does the hopes and dreams of your life parallel now with the hopes and dreams that you hope to provide to your children? Upper education, college, how is that transpiring?
Well, it's so transpiring because of the simple fact I have a new outlook on it. Now, with myself personally, I'm pushing it a little step further. I'm pushing it so hard right now because of the simple fact being a dad is something that is required of all men who are father. I mean, this is not something that you can be part-time on. This is not something that you can be full-time on. You have to dig in and be overtime. You have to put in long hours. You have to be dedicated. You have to do what is asked of you. And sometimes you have to do things that are not asked of you to do to be a good father. When I think about my children's future, I think about something brighter than mine. I don't want to ever look up and see my kids in the same situation as me. I want to look up and see my kids doing something better. So when I joined the program and started learning about everything that this program provides, I say, hey, I got to take this and go use it. A lot of people get a book and read it, okay, and then it's just locked in their minds or their brains, and they say, hey, this right here is something I just need to keep. But I go out and I just spread the joy. I tell everybody, if you're not doing nothing, you need to go down there and see them brothers. If you are doing something, you need to go down there and see them brothers. Because the people in Father Support, they are wholehearted people. They don't give out half amount of love. They teach you everything. And I mean everything. If you need a pair of socks, hey, Mr. Steve, you got a pair of socks. If you need a pair of shoes, hey, Mr. Steve, you got a pair of shoes. And that's something that everyone should be more appreciative and grateful for.
Wow. Well, we do appreciate you taking the time to join us and tell your story. I mean, I think if anyone is listening to this program with an open heart, open mind, they truly can tell how Father Support Center has positively impacted not only your life, but your children's lives. The lives of the baby's mother is impacted by all of the lessons that you have learned and through the relationships that you have built at Father Support Center. So I thank you for that. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you as well.
And now we want to turn our attention to Mr. Don Durham. He is with Father Support Center. He is a board member, and you've been a board member for how long now?
Christy, about 5 years.
5 years.
Yep.
And, you know, when we were coming in, you walked through our doors here at Emmis Communications, and I asked you, I said, well, Don, what is it that you want to talk to as a board member? Because a lot of us don't understand the view from a board member's perception. And you said what?
Well, I think one of the most important things as a board member, I get to be involved in not only some of the planning and some of the other things, but also I get to be involved in talking to the men and being with them a little bit and getting to know them. I speak to the individual clients twice during their 6 weeks, once in the second week and once in the sixth week. And what I've really noticed, we help them a little bit with hiring practices, how to interview, how to dress, how to act, how to speak. And one of the things I've noticed is the growth that you see in these guys, and I think Stephen is real indicative of it. He listened, he paid attention when they were talking. They really grow through this thing, and I always tell them when I come in the door, I'm not here for you guys. I'm here for your kids, and so that you have a positive impact on them. And you can really see from such a difference from the second week that I talk to them to the sixth week that I talk to them, that they're going to make a huge difference in their family's life. They're going to make a difference in their children's lives, hopefully a difference in the mother of their children, and their outlook on life, how they approach things, and it's just going to ripple through the whole system.
Think about the collective impact on the community itself. Wow, when you think about, you take it from just the individual, the father, then you add the children, then the mother of the children, and then the immediate family that's around, the grandmothers, the uncles, the nieces, they all will be impacted by those valuable lessons learned at Father Support Center. And then it's a community that's been positively impacted.
Well, I see the ripple effect and how it impacts everybody involved in the whole process. You know, hopefully, I talked to many of the men who say, I went through the program and I talked my brother into coming into the program, and even fathers that have talked their sons into coming into the program, and they go through the program and then they're out talking about Father Support Center to people, and it's just got a huge ripple effect.
So I want to talk about the support of the community to Father Support Center so you can have continued success and help more and more fathers, children, and families be positively impacted. How do you do that? As a board member, how are you making that happen?
Well, one of the things that we had not done a ton of when I first came on the board was basically marketing. Getting out to the community, talking to corporations, and the effect that this has for them. And I think we've increased that considerably in talking to people, getting out to various ways of doing that, and so forth.
And there are opportunities for corporate partners. I mean, with the employment program, helping finding jobs, valuable employment for fathers who go through the program. There's an opportunity there for the community to support you and Father Support Center and what you do. I mean, there are several ways that we can be involved, not only reap the benefits of what you're already doing, but also be active in helping you continue to do what you do. So there's partnership opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. And we have our board consists of attorneys, corporate CEOs, company owners, and people from the community supporters, and so forth. So it's a very diverse board, and we welcome people to come on board and just make a difference. Just donate a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to what we do.
True meaningful work for you?
Oh, it's beyond belief.
Beyond belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don Durham, he's a board member with Father Support Center. Halbert Sullivan, thank you again for joining us today. We're short on time, but is there anything else that you would like to add regarding Father Support Center?
Father Support Center has truly been very impactful in our community. Over the last 17 years, we have impacted over 12,000 fathers and their children, and we invite the community to be involved. If you want to learn more about the Father Support Center, please go to our website. That is fatherssupportcenter.org. Please look us up on the website, fatherssupportcenter.org. Thank you for having us, Christy.
Thank you for joining us again today. fatherssupportcenter.org. My guests have been Halbert Sullivan, President and CEO, board member Don Durham, and of course, someone that has been really impacted by Father Support Center and has been through the program, Stephen Thomas. Thank you all for joining us today on Today's Issues. When we come back, it's a look at some events happening around our community with the calendar of events, followed by Missouri Viewpoints.